Good evening, everyone. Today is oh gosh, I don't know what day it is. It is October 21st, Monday, October 21st. And welcome, everyone. It is, so some of you may be thinking, and actually I'm going to say this first. Good evening, everyone. If you're joining us from Southeast Asia, good morning if you're joining us from the United States, and good afternoon if you're joining us from anywhere else, especially from Europe. If you're joining us from Europe, good afternoon. So many of you may not realize, because you haven't been on this call for the 6.5 years that we've been doing it, that this call is actually recorded live. And so there are no edits, no cuts, no nothing. Everything is done from start to finish live by me. And then now it's actually being posted on YouTube. So if you are interested in hearing this call again, please hit the subscribe button and consider getting all of these dropped directly into your mailbox. There are over, I think, 140 videos there of all different sorts of topics, business and essential oils. And actually some of my team members have recorded shorter videos, and they're on there too. So if you're interested in essential oil education and you haven't had a chance to get on this call live, I'm going to encourage you to hop on. Also, please like this video, because that also moves us up in the ratings, and we'll be able to get many more people listening to this video. So for those of you, and I want to, by way of a short introduction, I also want to tell you a little bit about me and how this all got started. I actually came from another essential oil company, if you don't already know that. And 6.5 years ago, I made the move to doTERRA. So I have been using essential oils for about 12 years now, I think it is, working closely with my team members and with my co-author and other people that I just love and know very closely. Now we're moving into kind of a new stage, which is an education stage. And the education, we've been teaching a lot, but we've been teaching a lot live. And to be able to reach out to all corners of the globe, I'm gonna have to do this live and also on video, and help you all to just hop on and listen and be with us on a regular basis. So that's a short introduction. If you need to know more about me, you start watching the videos, you'll hear all different sorts of things, because I talk about my family and different things that happen with us on a regular basis. So welcome again to everyone, and let's get started with our presentation. Today we're talking about brain power. So what exactly does that mean? Brain power can mean a couple of things. It can mean actually having a strong brain and being able to think really clearly and soundly. It can also mean if you have issues with concentration or focus, or you have children who do, or elderly members of your family who do, this is the time for you to look into certain different essential oils and supplements. I'm repeating that twice, so that you can really feel like this is something that can work for you. I am a longtime proponent of essential oils for the brain. I think that it's a wonderful way to manage mood and also to manage brain power. And I want to talk to you at the very end of this presentation a little bit about why we choose essential oils for the brain. And as we're going through, we're going to learn a lot more today. So hold on, let me share my screen with you. Okay. Great. So I introduced myself a little bit. You know that I'm Elena Jordan. And let me tell you a little bit about what we're going to be talking about today. First of all, I want to say thank you to our Presidential Diamond team. What does that mean, really? It means that every person who gets on this call was actually invited here by someone, and that someone may be on the call with you, or they may be thinking about you and not be on the call today. But it's just the idea that you came to this place because of someone who cared enough about you, and that our team is a big and growing and thriving team, and that we really have our arms around the whole world. There are members of our team everywhere where you can possibly imagine. And if you need some sort of support, then please reach out to the person who invited to you this call, or reach out to me, because there is someone in your neighborhood. Okay, today's presentation, brain power. Now, I don't know about you, but I want my brain to be super powerful until absolutely the very end. And I realize that it's unreasonable to think that I'm going to be able to think and process the way I did when I was maybe 25. But what I can do is continue to do things and to use different products that will help me to stay vibrant in terms of my brain power and what it is, the functioning that I want to continue to have. I have been very blessed to have some relatives that have lived well into their 90s, including my mother, who is close approaching her 90th birthday. I know everybody who hears that or sees her says, oh my goodness, I can't even believe it. But that idea that we can continue to be vibrant and that we can continue to do the things that we need to do. So let me give you some suggestions, and I hope you're going to be taking a lot of notes. And if you're listening to this as a recording, I'm going to encourage you to actually hop on the Zoom class live if you possibly can. Get yourself an invitation. We limit the live positions on the call because we want to make sure that you have a great opportunity to win a prize. And we may not do that forever, but for right now, we're limiting the live so that you have a great opportunity to win a prize. Okay, brain power. Are you foggy, forgetful, scattered? It may be time to feed your brain. Your brain, primarily made up of fat, will perform at its highest level when fed well. Your brain not only controls all of your other body systems, but when challenged can lead to ADD, Alzheimer's, and other neurological diseases. So we're talking about the brain and we're talking about the power of the brain. We want to make sure that we're allowing it to perform at its optimum based on the age, of course, education, and ability of the person. Okay, in the book, Essential Oils Healthcare for Today, there is a section called Brain Power. So if you haven't had a chance to take a look at this book, I highly recommend it. And I'm announcing again, if you are able to do a testimonial about the book, we're going to be posting them on Facebook. We already have 2 up there and looking for more. This is a way for us to kind of spread the word. The Philippines doTERRA office is about to have its official opening on the 8th of November. And this is a terrific book for that office and for that group of people. Why? Because it has the basic essential oils in there, and that is the group of products that are going to be available to that office. So if you're building in the Philippines, if you're thinking of building in the Philippines, please consider having this book available for your teams there. And we're going to be running some giveaways in the next couple of weeks. Okay, calm down to power up. To increase brain power, it's important to first calm and reboot your central nervous system. This will help you to restore the myelin sheath and improve neurological pathways. Myelin is a fatty substance that wraps around nerve fibers and serves to increase the speed of electrical communications between neurons. So we talk about calming down, first of all, right? We want to think about some of our tried and true essential oils. We want to talk about our Serenity. We want to talk about our Intune and our Balance. Now, I love our blends, and I use them all the time. I think sometimes we get stuck on using the singles because we feel like, oh, I want to just target one specific thing. Really, folks, go back to your blends, especially the tried and true blends that have been around for a while. Don't be fooled by thinking newer is better. And also don't be fooled by thinking a single is better than a blend. I've said many times on this call that one of the things I love about the doTERRA blends is that they are chemically produced in a laboratory, chemically mixed, not produced. They're produced by nature, of course, because they're natural products, but they're mixed in a laboratory that achieves the same result every single time. So if you're looking for better sleep, or you're looking for concentration, or you're looking for balance, these are the 3 blends that you want to seek out. Okay, be a fathead. I know in English sometimes that has a bad connotation. When we say someone is a fathead, it can mean that they're not too smart or they're not using their brain. I'm sure you've heard this on sitcoms sometimes, on American television, it's used quite a bit. But you, as I said to you in our first slide, your brain is made up of primarily fats. So what do you want to do with those fats? You want to make sure that you are bathing your brain. So bathe your brain in a sea of fats, and it's going to continue to work powerfully for you. So omega-3 fatty acids are considered essential fatty acids. You cannot make them. You have to get them from food. And doTERRA provides clean, potent food-based supplements infused with essential oils that can play a role in brain function and development. It can also help to reduce the risk of chronic diseases because many of our functions, including heart, lungs, liver, all of our internal organs, thrive on fats. We really do need them. If you are a vegan or a vegetarian, these two essential oils, the omegas are actually available in a vegan formula. And if you know anything about our brand new supplement, Adaptive, it actually contains another vegan omega-3 source. So these two are my 1-2 punch, if you will. I love these for elderly people, especially the IQ Mega, because they can be added into a shake or any sort of liquid. So I make sure on a regular basis that, say, my mom would use this in her shake. She takes a trim shake, or she makes a trim shake each morning and adds a teaspoon of the IQ Mega. Fats can also help us to avoid fatigue, poor memory, learning and behavior issues, dry skin, those of you who have skin issues, mood swings, poor circulation, and also some fatal or chronic diseases. A therapeutic dose is 3 grams or 3 milliliters a day. Now that's quite a lot. So when we think about a therapeutic dose, these are doses that are based on studies that were done at Harvard University back in the early 2000s. What I would say is start with the dose that is available on the bottle. So if it is 1 teaspoon a day, start with 1 teaspoon. If it is 2 capsules twice a day, then start with your 2 gel caps and then go from there. Okay, another thing you want to think about is the healthy absorption of your foods. Are you eating healthy foods? And then the second thing is, are you able to digest them? So Terrazyme can help support a healthy digestion and metabolism of enzyme deficient or processed foods. So whatever nutrition is available in our foods, we want to make sure that we're getting it out of there, right? We want a speed conversion of food nutrients to cellular energy, promotes gastrointestinal comfort and food tolerance. So if you're a person who frequently suffers from indigestion or other issues of digestive discomfort, Terrazyme can be a great aid for that. It can support healthy production of metabolic enzymes, and finally provides important mineral cofactors for systemic enzymatic activity. That's a mouthful. What does it mean? Okay. So some of the things we need to produce enzymes, some of the enzymes we get from our foods, some of them we produce ourselves. What the mineral cofactors do is it helps us to provide, the Terrazyme provides additional support for those enzymes so that we can begin to not only produce our own and not rely so heavily on what we produce on our own, because what we produce is not quite enough to digest all our foods. If you're a person who regularly eats things like kimchi or sauerkraut or other fermented foods, pickles, kvass in the Polish tradition. As many of you know, my dad was Polish, and so we ate a lot of these foods growing up, when I was growing up. But many people have gotten away from traditional fermented foods and are just coming back to them now. Maybe you're a person who likes to drink kombucha, or perhaps you, I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. Maybe you can type a few in the chat for me. But there are so many great fermented foods out there. Include them in your diet, include them in your regular meal planning, because they will really help you with digestion. Okay, what else do we need for our brain? DDR prime. So DDR prime contains frankincense. And so as we know, frankincense is one of those essential oils that can pass the blood-brain barrier. Many of us think of DDR prime as a support to our immune system, and it absolutely is. It is a cellular complex, right? So it's made to support our cells. But of course, there's tons of cells in our brain. There are cells throughout our body. We want to make sure that we're supporting ourselves with DDR prime. So whether you like the capsule or you like the essential oil, both of them are good. I have to say, I started putting DDR prime 2 days ago. I have sort of a funny spot on my foot, which is really bugging me, and I have to go have it checked by a dermatologist. And I started putting DDR prime on it. And when I touched the DDR prime, what did I do next? I touched my eye like a nut. And of course, I was sort of getting ready for this call and thinking, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. So if you use DDR prime, if you use the essential oil, don't put it in your eyes. Not that you would put any essential oils in your eyes, right? but I want you to be extra careful because it has frankincense in it, but it also has oregano in it, so it can be feeling warm on the skin. Having said that, I have a whole group of friends in Vietnam. Hello, ladies from Vietnam who get on this call on a regular basis. And they use DDR Prime on their skin regularly. And I think they use it without diluting. And I have to say, they have some of the most beautiful skin I have ever seen. So shout out to all my friends, Miss Hong and Miss Deep and Yuki and all my friends in Vietnam. I'm going to be seeing you really soon, but consider using DDR Prime. Okay. 1-2 punch, apply and diffuse the same oils. So when we're trying to get a saturation of oils, we want to make sure that we're using them in 2 different ways. So oils like helichrysum, frankincense, vetiver, sandalwood, and patchouli can be blended in roller bottles with a little bit of fractionated coconut oil, or they can be dropped directly into a water-based diffuser. Each has the power to cross the blood-brain barrier, repair the myelin sheath, and improve the transmission of neurological impulses. They are also all neurologically supportive. You want to apply to the wrists and diffuse to 30 minutes daily. They, as I said, they can be put in a roll-on. Consider rolling them up the spine on a daily basis. So that would be from the base of the spine all the way up to the hairline. And you want to do that as often as possible. So smelling those oils, having them on the skin, having them near the brain stem, all of those can be very, very neuro-supportive. Okay, so let's talk about each one of the oils individually. You all know about Serenity or Lavender Peace. Outside of the US and Southeast Asia, this is known as Lavender Peace, creating a tranquil feeling. Many of you use this for sleeping, and I have to say, when do we repair our brain? We repair it when we are sleeping. So if you're a person in general who doesn't sleep well, you want to make sure that you're using things that can get you to sleep. I use my Serenity almost daily. I use the Serenity blend and I use the Serenity capsules. I also blend in vetiver, as some of you know, if I'm really unable to get some sleep, and I'm going to talk about that essential oil in a minute. Another one I love, Intune. Who do I use Intune with? My kids. Now, my kids aren't little anymore, but we started using Intune the minute we set foot in doTERRA, and we've never looked back. It's one of those blends that's convenient to use. I love the way it smells. Some people say they like other things better than Intune, but I really like that idea of kind of sitting down, focusing, and being able to do the work that's in front of you. I often keep Intune, a vial of Intune, a 10 milliliter roll-on, right on my desk. And as I'm working, I'll put on some Intune during the day. I don't often diffuse Intune just because of the roller top bottle, but I could. If you take a knife and just kind of pry off the little roller bottle top, you can drip a few drops right into a water-based diffuser, and it's very convenient. So consider your Intune. Here's another one, Balance. This is one of those oils, I feel like it's a perennial favorite. However, many new people come into doTERRA not knowing about Balance or understanding the beauty of this oil. And I want you to make sure that if you are talking to young people or new people, people that are just getting started, that they clearly understand the power of this blend. Balance is one of those blends that I would not avoid no matter what. I always have Balance around. In fact, many times I'll pick up my bottle of Balance and it's just empty. So I love the fact that Balance it's there for me. It's sort of in the background. It's not super powerful or bold, but it is one of those wonderful oils. I personally put Balance on my feet every morning, and I encourage you to do the same. And that's a tip that I got from Dr. Hill many years ago during a class that he took. He did not walk up to me and say, "Hey, Elena, will you put Balance on your feet every day because I think it's going to be good for you?" No. And I'm not doing that exactly now either because I can't see right into your eyes and see your face. But consider this my invitation. Please put Balance on your feet every day. I think you really like it. Okay, let's talk a little bit about vetiver. Vetiver, interestingly enough, in Ayurvedic medicine is known as the oil of tranquility. Now, I love vetiver, but some people say they don't love it. There's 2 things you have to remember about vetiver. Number 1 is that it's very viscous. What does that mean? It's thick. So when you go to apply or you go to take it out of the bottle, it's going to take a while to drop out. Some people say that it smells almost lemony or citrusy. Other people say that it smells woody, or like, I've even heard people say that it smells like potatoes. But whatever it smells like to you, it is an ancient oil and has been used in the perfume industry for centuries. And obviously, Ayurvedic medicine is a medicine that's been around for a long, long time. Want to make sure that we're honoring some of these ancient oils and getting them into our system. What's interesting that I find is if I get some vetiver on my skin, the following morning, I can still smell it. It really stays with you, which is probably why it's been used in the perfume industry for so long. It is one of those, what we're going to call base notes from the perfume industry. Remember, top notes, middle notes, and base notes. Base notes are the ones that linger and really stay with you. So when we're talking about focus, concentration, and any of the issues with the brain, we want something that's going to be long lasting. And if that's the truth, then you want to use your vetiver. Okay, let's talk about sandalwood. Been used also for millennia for spiritual and religious uses. Hindus still use it to anoint the temple floor and walls to enhance spiritual ambiance. Sandalwood is one of those oils that was mentioned in the Bible. It is a perennial that has been used in soaps and perfumes and cosmetics and continuously kind of revives itself. You may know that our Hawaiian sandalwood actually is coming from a farm that we have recently begun, doTERRA has recently begun to cultivate on one of the big Hawaiian islands. And if you get to Hawaii, either for the incentive trip or for the Blue and Presidential incentive trips, then you can actually go to the farm. That's one of the activities that they do there. We go to the farm and we try out the different from years past, what they've done is they've actually planted sandalwood seedlings. I don't know if they'll continue to do that, but we'll see. How many seedlings do they need to plant? Not sure. Okay, patchouli. Love-hate relationship with patchouli. If you grew up in the 1960s and 70s, you will associate this with the hippies. And I think that's why it kind of got a bad name. But again, another oil that's been used in perfume for hundreds of years. It has that kind of deep, spicy scent to it. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Interestingly enough, I was at a class, teaching a class one night, and there was a woman there who had to be around, I want to say 60 to 65 years old. She was probably born in the 1950s, so she was a teenager in the 60s. And as we were passing around the patchouli, or passing around one of the blends that had patchouli, she smelled it and she literally went, oh, and so everyone turned to her as if to say, what, are you okay? And she said, it reminds me of my first boyfriend. And that this was the perfume evidently that she had worn when they used to go out together, and it evidently had patchouli oil in it, or it was patchouli oil. But that was just such a great reaction. And I have to say, if I had that connection, I'm sure I would use patchouli more. If you are not a patchouli user, I would say use it in moderation. It is terrific for anxiety and dopamine issues, especially when you're talking about calming the emotions, but it is very potent. Start small, maybe with a single drop. Okay, now let's talk about adaptive, because when we talk about brain power, we want to talk about calming the brain, calming the neural pathways, and our most recent addition to this menu, if you will, is the whole adaptive line. I've been talking individually, selectively about certain essential oils, and now I want to talk about adaptive. So when we talk about the two adaptive products, or the three adaptive products, you want to talk about the capsules for the systemic pathway for neurological and biochemical calming. And then when we talk about the oils, either the roll-on or the essential 15 milliliter bottle, want to talk about the limbic system, behavior, thought, and emotion. I'm using these two together, and I'm using them, I have to say, several times a week. I find, because I get up very early in the morning, that by 5 or 6 o'clock, I'm really crashing. And so what does that mean? I'm getting grumpy. I'm probably hungry. It's right before dinner for us because we tend to eat early. And I just really don't feel like myself. And so what I'm doing is around 4 o'clock, before this whole cascade begins for me, I'm taking an adaptive capsule and I'm rolling the adaptive right on the back of my neck. And I'm putting a lot on. I have to to say. I'm rolling on my wrists, I'm rolling behind my ears, on the back of my neck, over my heart. Sometimes I put a little bit on my spine. I can't reach my whole spine easily, especially when I have clothes on. But I really I'll put it on my shoulders to kind of, you know, how you get a little bit tense like this and your shoulders go up. I try to really get a lot of it on my body, give it a good shake, and then I apply it. So even if I don't have the capsules, or I don't have the capsules with me, I have the Adaptiv Roll-On and I'm putting it on, and I'm finding it's helping me to calm down. Now, many of you know I'm super positive. I tend to be very upbeat. I'm very energetic. That's just my personality. I think I was born this way. And when I get up in the morning, I'm usually really happy. Mornings are my time. I'll look into the mirror and say, hey, looking good. I know that sounds crazy and very vain, but that's the way I feel. Every morning I get up, I'm just happy to be alive. However, it also means that as the day progresses and it gets later and later, I just get so tired and worn out. And usually about 9:30 or so, I'm in bed, folks. So by 5 o'clock, this is like the end of my day. I'm finding the Adaptiv is helping. Please, if you haven't had a chance to try the Adaptiv, get a set for yourself, use the 3 products together, and then let me know. If you're watching this on YouTube, absolutely let me know in the comments below, how do you like the Adaptiv and are you using it? Okay, let's talk a little bit, and I've gone through this a little bit before, so I'm gonna skim over Adaptiv, but Adaptiv has GABA in it, and GABA has a natural comforting effect and helps reduce feelings of apprehension and fear by decreasing neuronal excitability. So what does that mean for us? It's very difficult to sit down, concentrate, work, be an effective parent, spouse, or even a student if our feelings of apprehension are just so intense for us. We want to calm the brain and allow ourselves to really focus. It balances healthy levels of mood stabilizing hormones and improves cognitive function while combating occasional nervousness. You can take one daily. I would take it twice if you were really a person who suffered from anxiety. I'd probably take one in the morning and then one again in the evening. For me, one in the afternoon is enough for early evening, but if it was something that was very troubling to you, I think easily 2 capsules a day. Okay, here's the calming blend. In preliminary studies, the scent of lavender, a main ingredient of Adaptiv, has been found to contribute to an environment conducive to performing tasks requiring sustained attention. Okay, what does that mean? When we're jumping all over the place and we have our phone in front of us all the time, it's hard for us to sit down and concentrate. I am actually going back to using a paper planner for my thinking work because it takes me away from screens. Many of you have gone through my 6-day class, which is available on YouTube, which talks about focus and using the planner. I love that information, and I also find that it was something that helped me to really get focused on what is it that I needed to do, not just for my professional life, but for my personal life, and to eliminate all kinds of exterior distractions. The Full Focus Planner is a product by Michael Hyatt. If you're interested, you can look online. I may put in maybe in the show notes, I'll put some links so you can click on it and see. And I actually have a 10% off certificate if you're interested in looking at some of his products. But what does Adaptiv do? It helps to boost mood, complements effective work and study, increases feelings of tranquility, soothes and uplifts, and has a calming and relaxing aroma. Okay, the roll-on, my personal favorite, again, with lavender, magnolia, neroli, and sweet gum for providing stress-relieving effects, with wild orange and spearmint to energize and uplift. Copaiba and rosemary soothe anxious feelings to round out the calming blend. When you're fatigued, when you're having difficulty staying on task, these are the blends that I would try for. Okay, 90-day plan. I love to give you guys a 90-day plan, and I'm getting back to this now because I think this is sort of my signature, folks, the 90-day plan. It's the thing that we developed, Carrie and I, when we first started working together a million years ago, back in 2005, if you can believe it. I know I'm dating myself already, but that idea that the body really does renew itself in 90 days. So what do I think you need if you're going to go on a 90-day plan? You need to get your balance. You need a DDR Prime, whether it's the capsules or the oils. You need an Intune roll-on, and you need to get on LLV, your Lifelong Vitality. You need a Melissa and a Terrazyme. Now that seems like a big ask for your first month, but you can break it up if you need to. In month 2, I would encourage you to get a frankincense, another DDR Prime. Maybe you got the capsules, now you try the liquid. Keep going with your LLV, Serenity, and Vetiver, so you can start making your brain blends. Now, this is specifically for brain and focus, right? This is a presentation on brain power, so I want to make sure that you're getting the things you need to support your brain. In month 3, I would get myself an adaptive set, which would be the 3 parts of the adaptive system, including the capsules, the essential oil, and the roll-on. And then finally, I would get an extra dose of XC Omega with my LLV. So how do you do that? You know, if you go on to your LRP, your loyalty rewards program, and you click on LLV and you're buying this through the United States, there's actually a drop-down menu that allows you to get some additional products. And one of the choices is to buy additional XC Omega, and I would click yes. So I frequently will buy 1 LLV or 1 daily nutrient pack and get extra XC Omegas because it's that important to me. And then finally, I want to remind you to diffuse, diffuse, diffuse. So please get out there, use your diffusers. I don't care if they are the car kind, the water-based, you've got a direct dispersion, you're using one with some sort of a piece of felt so that it's a dry dispersion into the air. It's all good. You want to make sure that you're diffusing on a regular basis. Okay, please join us. Find me on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or LinkedIn. I'm under my name on all of these platforms. As I mentioned, today's presentation will be available probably in the next couple of hours on YouTube. Take a look. If you have a friend or a classmate or a family member or a team member who didn't get on this morning, there's only 70 of us on this morning, trying to get us up to 99 or 100 every time. If they didn't get on this morning, please make sure that they're able to listen later on. I think there's some valuable information here and perennial information that they're going to be able to use again and again. Okay. Oh, I have my global convention. Actually, I'm going to take this down after today, but what I did want to tell you is it's the very end of the month. So if you did get the download of the convention, please be sure to watch it within the next week because it is going away. Today's the 21st of October. On the 31st of October, the download will be gone. And so you've got 10 days. Make sure you get whatever information you're going to get from it and watch your convention online. Remember, you are amazing. No matter what I say or do, you're still going to be amazing. And what my dream is for you really is that the ideas that we share here on Mondays help you to have a really beautiful week. And if you are struggling or if you do need more help, please come back. Find a live person, text them, connect with them. You are not alone. This is a community and a growing community, and I'm so very happy you're here. Thank you for being here, everyone, and have a wonderful week. Okay, so now I'm going to stop the share, and I'm going to and I'm going to answer a few questions, but I'm not going to answer the questions live. So I'm going to say goodbye to everyone who's listening. Again, if you like this presentation, please click like below and hit our subscriber button so that you can get this dropped right into your email list. And if you've been listening intently, I just want to welcome you to the team and thank you so much for having been here.